Davion, the offense was really moving in the first half in particular, but even into the third quarter. What changed in the fourth quarter that allowed them to go on a 37-19 run?
I feel like the third quarter we kind of gave them confidence. Even the first half we kind of gave them confidence. We was up and then they came back and we kept fouling and giving them energy. They getting at the line. They kind of slowed the game down for us a little bit. And I mean, you give a team like that confidence. They got good players. I mean, they're NBA players, no matter who's playing on the court. So give them open looks and they see the ball go in and they make a run from there.
You guys have been playing with a pretty relentless pace, lots of body movement, lots of ball movement. But tonight that led to 21 turnovers, which was a season high. How do you guys limit those turnovers moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, they had a game plan to kind of slow us down a little bit because they know how fast we play, even kind of jump in the front court and got a couple turnovers like that. And obviously the back cuts, trying to force it in there, things that we'll learn from, obviously, and when we watch the film.
What are the types of things that you can learn from this game?
I mean, first is to rebound. Obviously, we got to do a better job of rebounding like every game. Second is don't take nobody for granted, nobody who's on the court, and kind of just go out there and just play your game. I feel like we kind of got in our heads. We wasn't rebounding. We was trying to force shots, going one-on-one. We wasn't really playing our game, and they came out with the win.
How much has keeping teams off the offensive boards been part of what you guys have been working on, during practice or shoot-arounds, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a lot. Worked on it a lot. It's just things we got going in with a mindset of just hitting guys first. I feel like a lot of teams know the game plan for us, just crash and just try to hit us first and get the rebound. But we got to go in to hit first and even take a foul if we have to, just to let them know that we're not weak. We're not gonna put our head down and let you guys get the rebound. So that's something we got to learn from.
And you squared off with New York earlier this year, and now back-to-back games against them, just similar to how you have back-to-back games here against the Cavs. What's sort of the mentality when you're specifically facing a team like the New York Knicks when you're heading up there?
I mean, the same game. They're going to be the same game plan. Obviously, they got a couple guys who can offensive rebound. We got to definitely pay attention to guys like Mitchell Robinson. Can't let them bring energy to the game and give their team energy and give them confidence. And obviously, Josh Hart, we got to watch him on the glass too. Just offensive rebound. I feel like we're doing a really good job of getting stops with just the offensive rebound, second chance points, are kind of just like deflating plays where now they got confidence. Now they feel like they can win the game.
Jaime, the turnovers obviously seem to really hurt you guys tonight. What did they do maybe to cause some of those turnovers, and how much of that was you guys also just maybe being sloppy with the play?
A combination of both. I think we had a couple of sloppy ones, a couple that pressure might have gotten to us, but regardless, no excuse. We need to be better.
I mean, did they do anything differently than from Monday night in terms of crowding your space in the paint and on drives?
Not really. I felt like I got some good looks, just missed some easy ones. Sometimes that happens. Just gotta make them.
Even with the success and the way you're running the offense, is there still an appreciation for how fine a line there is in this league that if you commit too many turnovers and you foul too often, it almost doesn't matter what the opponent is, that'll undo you alone, those two factors?
Yeah, I mean, that is a recipe for defeat right there. A lot of fouling, a lot of turnovers. It's tough to win, when you got 20-plus turnovers. And, I mean, I don't know how many times we sent them to the line, but I know it was a lot. It's tough to win like that. And, we just got to be better. We got to be more solid on defense. There's a lot of things we still need to work on, still need to grow from. But the beautiful thing about this game is that we got another one on Friday. So shift focus, and Friday's our focus now.
Last season, obviously, the team, when it had those kind of double-digit leads, those blown leads were really kind of a factor for last season. What's sort of the motivation of not having that deja vu and just kind of like learning from that?
Just wanting to be a great team. I think that's our motivation is, tonight we had an opportunity. Obviously, they had a lot of guys missing, and, I think that may have gotten to us. As great teams, it doesn't matter who's out there. You gotta put your best foot forward, and obviously, we just didn't do that tonight. And we're going to take this as a learning experience. There's a lot to learn from this game. Hopefully, we can take that into the future.
I mean, with the season you had, a lot of teams have opted to put the big man on you. It feels like tonight the Cavs did that, and also had like these units with like 4 guys out there that were 6'9" or bigger. Do you think that had anything to do with kind of the way that they sort of neutered the driving kick game a little bit?
No, I mean, I thought we had some great looks. I thought, there were some plays, I maybe could have sprayed. I thought I missed some, easy ones that probably could have gone in. But, just take it to the film room, continue to learn, and, tomorrow when I watch the film, I'll see what I can do better.
Norm, it seemed like you guys didn't have the edge you had carried through most of the season, and the result were turnovers and fouls. Just what happened to the edge, and can you talk about the turnovers and fouls, please?
Yeah, I think thought we started off, kind of a little back and forth, and we were able to, extend the lead to double digits. But I think we took our foot off the gas once we got it to where we felt like we could control the game a little bit, and we gave them life, especially the closeout that first half. I think the last 5 to 4 minutes of that second quarter. They brought it back because we were fouling. We were in a bonus. They knew we were in a bonus. They were putting their heads down. They were crashing the boards, and they're getting those calls. The more aggressive team is going to get those ones, even those questionable ones. And that gave them life. I thought we came out with a good focus in the third quarter to extend the lead, and kind of did the same thing, took our foot off the gas once we got the lead. We couldn't get over the hump of pushing it to 15 or more. I think we got it to what the biggest lead was 11, but we just couldn't get over that hump to really break open the game. And they got good, hungry young guys that got a chance with their starters sitting out for them to be aggressive and showcase what they do. And I thought they did a great job coming in, making the plays. I thought Jared Allen did a great job leading them, being the focal point, attacking, putting pressure on our defense. But yeah, we gotta be better. It doesn't matter who is suiting up. We gotta focus on what we need to focus on, and play our brand of basketball, no matter who we're lined up against.
Norm, I know the possession game kind of was the game, but if you just look at your percentages from the field as a team, they're pretty consistent with Monday. I'm curious as to whether or not you guys actually, the shots you were getting, were those any different from what you got 2 days ago?
I don't really think it was the shots that was a problem. I don't think our offense was a problem at all. I mean, we're 47%, 40 from the three. Got to a line. I mean, they got to the line 31. They had 31 free throws. We have 13. We got 21 turnovers. They got 29 points off of those turnovers. I mean, I think that's the game right there. Then if you look at the rebounds, not too bad, but the offensive rebounds hurt us as well. That's the telltale right there. The rebounds and the turnovers is what gave them life and got them the win.
Norman, can you just kind of talk about maybe again the frustration level with a loss like this? I know their starters were sitting, but using that as fuel for because you have a game Friday.
Yeah, very bad loss. I mean, that's a very bad loss. They're a good team, but when they're sitting there, they're starters, they're go-to guys. That's when we gotta put our stamp on the game, and not give them any life. So it's a bad loss for us, especially coming off a game like we had earlier against them. But we got to turn the page quickly. We got a in-season tournament game against a Knicks team that is going to be hungry. They're playing well. We beat them here, so I know they want to protect home court. It's not going to be anything easy. So we got to be ready for a physical, fast-paced game. They play really well at home, and it's going to take every single one of us to be locked in defensively in that game, limit them from getting second chance opportunities. It's going to be a full 48-minute game, so there can't be any excuses.
Okay.
Erik, it seemed two recurrent themes of the games were turnovers and fouls, the kind of things that indicate sloppy, messy, maybe just sort of your thoughts on those two things coming together on a night like this.
The turnovers, they did a great job of pressuring, more pressure, with this lineup that they have. Their tag ups as they were in rebounding position, and that put them in pressure position. So I think we had 5 or 6 turnovers in the backcourt in some form or fashion. And then in the first half, I think we had 5, interior pass or fundamentals, which they do a tremendous job. And this is their energy group. This is their defensive group. They already lead the league in deflections. And so when we had, 9-point leads, every time I looked, there was like we'd push it to 9. We probably had that several times, and we could never get it to 15. And then finally in that third quarter, we got it to 14, and I believe Norm missed that dunk. Could have put it to 16. And then from that point on, they took over. You do have to credit them. I mean, those guys were playing aggressive, and we couldn't contain it at that point, and then we were missing, some shots. We didn't have our normal pop and energy offensively, and then it just became a snowball rolling down the hill. The things that we could have controlled would have been taking care of the ball better, the cuts that led to rebounding again, and then the fouling. The fouling potentially could have been, a matter of just, not fatigue. Our guys are in tremendous condition, but from the other night, an emotional game, and then here we're just a step slow, it seemed like, in a lot of those situations in the second half.
On the other end with the fouling, you guys have generated a lot of free throws the last few games tonight. I think it was 13. What did you see there as far as maybe them keeping you guys away from the paint, or maybe not getting to the same areas to draw the...
Yeah, I just don't, we didn't have our normal energy. There are pockets of the game where you saw the energy, but it was really more of a grind to get, the running out in transition, the cuts, the swings, the catch and go drives. Everything was just a little bit late. And again, in the first half, that's the area where we probably could have taken control of the game better, and when you don't take care of the game, when you can in those areas, then it's tough to get it back sometimes. And that's what happened in the second half. And again, you just have to credit them. They played with great force, great energy. With this lineup that they had, the ball moves. It's a little bit more actions, back actions. You have to play more situations on a certain possession. And then as the shot goes up, they do the tag up and crash. We just did not handle that, well enough. And this will be a lesson not for, this weekend, but, having that maturity to be on edge, to really, treat it with the same urgency as the other night. And then, it would have been a great win, just to find a way to win, even if the guys weren't feeling great, physically and everything, you find a way to gut it out. And 130, is not a way to gut it out.
Obviously, you're going to see different approaches to your approach. Tonight, they put a lot of height on Jaime, and it was a little bit different. Jared was on him. Thomas was on him. How did that impact things? And now, are you at the point this season now where now it's time for counters to the counters?
Well, I would say, the last time we played him was one of the few times a team hasn't put their 5 on him. That's been happening for the last month. Most teams are putting the 5 on him, and he's handled that pretty well.
In both games, you didn't really get to the rim a lot, but there were constant, the drives were there, and you were getting the shots through contact, and you actually shot pretty well both times. So I'm wondering if there's any distinction between the shots you're getting off drives on Monday and tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'll have to look at the film, but when we had opportunities to really gain some momentum offensively, we were turning it over a lot. So it's tough to say. Like, if you're just only trying to attack and get to the rim and shoot it over a contest, that's not going to be great. We had a lot of turnovers on threading the needle. Or jumping in the air against a team that's elite at finding deflections. And you just never know, where those possessions could lead to better rhythm. If you do your proper fundamentals, proper spacing, get the ball out where it needs to go, the ball moves, and all of a sudden you get a wide open shot. Now that can be momentum going your way. Instead, it ends up being truncated drive, like where we had like 2 good possessions and all of a sudden 2 turnovers, and then now we're not in rhythm. They're grinding, staying in the game. I don't know how many times we got it to 9, and then all of a sudden, they came back and got it to 3 several times during the course of the game.
Coach, them missing obviously those key guys, Hunter and Allen, really stepped up. Well, what kind of problems were those two really posing, to the team?
Yeah, they just have. I mean, Hunter had more of a usage tonight, so he had a different role, and he's big, he's physical, and he did a great job of cutting. I think that was probably the most underrated thing he did tonight. Every time we put a body on him, he cut for a foul or an easy opportunity. And then Allen was super impactful. I mean, I'm sure only playing 20 minutes, he's a prideful, winning player. He came out with a purpose tonight, and he was rolling and sealing and offensive rebounding, finishing in traffic, all of those things. He was probably motivated very much from the other night.
Coach, when you think about specifically the transition offense, how much can the turnovers be blamed for slowing down that part of your attack?
I mean, a decent amount. I would say in the second half, the ball going in or us fouling had a bigger impact. Okay, thank you.